KTS Von would be multiple times, including twice in the chest and once in the head. What authorities expected was a drive-by where they wanted to make sure he was dead. Von was indeed later pronounced at the scene. An LMB chopper would later be taken off the streets anyway, catching a case for a man who allegedly wouldn't share his blunt. Others have credited the
so he probably did do that shit. If you caught a charge because a nigga wouldn't share his doink with you, then I ain't know you would have op, nigga.
These exotic boys, smoke exotic ops. You ain't heard about murder boys, we got exotic glocks. Tied to pull up real fast, with a lot of shots. Bitch, I'm feeling just like Mac, I got a lot of guap.
Like the likes of G Herbo and Lil Bibby, getting opportunities to make money and build careers in the music industry. The danger in Terrortown, the blocks where they came from, remained for their friends still in the streets. The violence would simply continue as their block and their gang begun to get more and more famous from drill music. The next person to lose their life in the ongoing conflict between NLMB and Black Mob would come on the 16th of October 2014. When a Black Mob affiliate by the name of T-Bone, real name Alexander D. Smith, was walking down the 7500 block of South Colfax Avenue, accompanied by a 14-year-old boy. He'd allegedly been caught by rivals from NLMB, being multiple times and at the scene. The young boy accompanying him also being grazed in the hip. Little is known about what happened after T-Bone was killed, but Shells would later rap about the situation, suggesting that
niggas never did when they killed Bone. Niggas probably just shed a tear and went home.
He was upset that T-Bone was never avenged. But as you know, No Limit have many ops in the city, and separate to their war with Black Mob, they were still waging a bitter war with Lakeside and the KTS crew. Their most feared shooter, KTS Von, was the top trophy for the No Limit soldiers. Von had seemingly taken a to the chest in early 2014 that took him off the streets for a significant amount of time. But going into 2015, the war between No Limit and KTS would heat up once again. Ironically, for once in this beef, each side would trade at each other back and forth on songs rather than in the streets. On March the 10th, 2015, Bibby and Herb dropped Part 2, aka Heard About You, which featured lyrics where G Herb invited his ops to pull up on him on Essex and 79th, as well as saying he's Posto, and naturally seeing as Bibby
got my mama yelling. That's that shit,
and Herb's careers had been taking off, with songs dissing ops. Naturally, once he'd recovered from his injuries, KTS Von would get back in the booth, recording some of the biggest songs of his career. On April the 10th, 2015, he drops the track Street Life, featuring a music video showing Von literally cooking on a house stove.
Why would you do that? And you posted that? In a music video? Niggas just be slow, bro.
And a chorus where Von says if he didn't for Posto, it wouldn't be right. He would rap that he got caught lacking when he got shot, but that every shooter isn't a killer. He also says on the song that he's f***ing Kobe. And in a way, this song was a sad but
Kobe is one of Herb homies. If y'all listen to G Herbo for real, I call him Lil Herb because I'm from the rack. I grew up off Herb, nigga, so I still call him Lil Herb. I still call him Lil Herb. But yeah, Kobe was his homie, and Posto is a nigga I think that was a Lakeside nigga that got killed, but that was one of Herb ops. You feel me? And so a lot of times in Herb songs, you used to be hearing Posto. He used to yell that loud as
on the dead-end street life that KTS Von had been born into. It came with other lyrics warning the listener that falling in the street life will have you doing awful things, like killing a friend of 10 years, or dying broke, unable to fund the ongoing gang war. But it would be KTS Von's next song that would be the most famous of his career, and unfortunately, his last. On April the 29th, 2015, KTS Von releases the music video for the track To Survive. The music video would feature yet more offensive merch listing their
So this is all pretty much Herb homies. So Bezo, Kobe, Vito, Pee Wee, Rock. I don't know the other names for real, but I know them was Herb homies for real.
That they've killed. And the song's central chorus of To Survive became the perfect national anthem for KTS gang members. Von would rap about literally living in the purge and claiming to slide through Terrortown with Lakeside members, putting people in the sky while dropping five.
But see, the only thing about this is, bro, like, at this point, Herb had money. So Herb wasn't, I think, well, it's well known that you'll see Herb on Essex, you ride past, like, plenty of times. Like, when he first started popping, that nigga was still outside, boy. Bibby, I didn't see, never really seen in person. I never seen Bibby in person, but Herb, I've seen Herb on the block. Just riding down Essex or riding down Saturday night. I've seen Herb plenty of times. Like, you feel me? So he was one of them niggas that had a lot of money and to still be in the hood. But that shit ain't cool. That's stupid. And getting money and leaving, it's not scary. It's smart. Like, niggas be having shit fucked up because niggas want to. I don't know why they want to do this slow. I don't want to.
Following the track's release, he would be seen on social media driving around the ops territory, blasting the song at full volume and showing off his pistol. KTS Von was beginning to make a name for himself, but so too was G Herbo, who continued releasing music referencing the war with Lakeside. On May the 31st, 2015, Herbo drops Back at It Part 3, opening his verse with lyrics about s**ing Posto, Bud, Lolo, and T-Bone.
He's saying Posto, it's Pasto. I guess that's his accent.
As well as Scoop, who was the brother of Black Mob member Shooter Shells, who as part of a different beef while Shells was in jail. Herbo would also acknowledge the McDonald's incident on this song, saying check the video because a few of the people from it, like Posto, are now dead. But sadly, G Herbo's lyrics would end up being much more prophetic than he realised when he recorded them, because soon the main protagonist from that No Lack in 3 video would also lose his life. Apparently, on June the 22nd, KTS Von would
a few hours before getting shot and killed, he was on Instagram fighting with some Lil Herb No Limit soldiers. Oh, bitch, I got him. I'm finna pop out. You ready? What's funny, shorty? But where you at, big bro? Chill out, boy. I'm laughing at his goof. Alright, cool. Little boy, you better stop flexing on IG before I see y'all fake BNC shorties, BDK, Die 5, Lil Bro, Shorty, them actors. Will Smith, Dave BD, and they homie Stone. On Ronnie, I don't get no stop flexing goofy Google, BPSN, clown little niggas. No bodies. Now get y'all lame off my page. Brian ain't gonna get you on. They wanna be BD Stone and LMB. Stop it, cool. So he going back and forth. A few hours before he going back and forth. And see, that's what I be saying. Like, no matter how cool and funny you is in these comments on Instagram, on Twitch, on Twitter, no matter how raw your music videos is, you dissing the ops and how raw the lyrics is, gang, you still ain't bulletproof on the guys. So that shit don't do nothing on bro. You just really pissing more people off. That's why I always feel like it's stupid. Like, if I hate a nigga soul and I want to do something to him and I know when I see him I'm going to do something to him, the last thing I'm finna do is go back and forth with a nigga on Instagram to get him geeked up. So now it was just regular day for me. Now I can't even go to the corner store because I'm talking shit on Instagram. For what? What is that doing? Pause. Listen, I have a mentorship called the Mula membership where I'm going to teach you how to get rich with business, YouTube, crypto, stocks, financial literacy, credit, every single way. Now, I became a millionaire by the time I was 23 years old. I'm going to teach you step by step for only $50. Click the first link in the description right now and get added to my group chat where I'm going to give you one-on-one help to make sure you get rich in 2024. Click it right now. Stop tweaking because we got very, very, very limited spots and I don't want you to miss this bag.
Exchanged threats back and forth with a No Limit member by the name of Chopper. And the day after this exchange, on June 23rd, 2015, KTS Von, real name Davon Davis, was standing outside an apartment on the 7500 block of Ellis Avenue. Apparently high on pills at the time, he was alone and drugged up, essentially vulnerable.
He was a little bit, he wasn't really out over east no more. He was a little bit like out south, but he was still close. Like he on 75th, but he on what they say, Ellis. So Ellis kind of like not that far, but it's still like a ways away. It's like it's a good little minute away.
Block of Ellis Avenue. Apparently high on pills at the time, he was alone and drugged up, essentially vulnerable to any of the many ops who would desperately want to pull up and catch him lacking. Around 2:05 p.m, a group of men passing by in an SUV allegedly spotted him slowing down and firing. KTS Von would be multiple times, including twice in the chest and once in the head. What authorities expected was a drive-by where they wanted to make sure he was dead. Von was indeed later pronounced at the scene, and weirdly it was also reported that shortly after the shooting, another mysterious SUV came down the block where the had been committed, rolling down the window with the occupant of the car asking the nearby crowd if somebody else got killed, with a woman apparently replying that it was a birthday party, whilst another man nearby would hold out his fingers mimicking a gun and saying boo. KTS Von's would go unsolved, and whilst Von's friends and family mourned the loss of the KTS general, Big Cutthroat the Smoker himself, many theories would follow as to who was responsible for the killing. Chopper from NLMB, who had gone back and forth with Von in the comments the day before his would post a video online, apparently right after the murder, rapping the lyrics about for Posto from Von's April song titled Street Light, changing the lyrics to say that he should have for Posto and now he's in the sky, and suggesting that all of their homies are now beating Von's ass.
Oh, if he ain't Posto with one B right, he should have for Posto and kept his pipe. But now he up there for no beating his ass. Why your dumb ass?
And a day after Von's Chopper would also tweet that the ops are lacking whilst they're lurking. Despite not being formally charged in the case, an LMB Chopper would later be taken off the streets anyway, catching a case for a man who allegedly wouldn't share his blunt. Others have credited the
so he probably did do that shit. If you caught a charge because a nigga wouldn't share his doink with you, then I ain't know you would have op, nigga. On the guys. And he probably did that shit on the guys.
Killing of KTS Von to Mad Max, aka C Money or Chris, because only 2 days after the shooting, Max would post to his Instagram a picture of a lion with a bloody face and a caption reading, "One picture, 1,000 words." And Max would also post yet another picture of him with
4 days after KTS Von died. Splash Brother.
Limit member Mally, along with the caption Splash Brothers. In response to this, KTS Von's brother KTS Dre would even jump in the comments asking Mad Max for his phone number, which he actually provided. Another detail that had people thinking Mad Max was responsible was the fact that soon after the hit, Mad Max would change his description on Instagram to call himself The Smoker, which had previously been KTS Von's nickname.
Oh, it's little small shit that if you don't know what's going on, you won't peep that.
This would catch on, and No Limit, Diesel, and 30 Clips would end up releasing a song called Don't Get Exposed, where they claim to have took the name The Smoker from Von. And in the music video for that track, No Limit members were seen doing KTS Von's signature pose of having one hand over his mouth and another hand doing a sign to his head. Ever since the of KTS Von, No Limit members would seemingly adopt this en masse as a regular sign of disrespect towards Lakeside. Basically, once KTS Von died, everybody in No Limit was rejoicing. Ramo from No Limit tweeted RIP Kobe days after the murder. Chopper would continue mocking Von on his own Instagram. Ramo would point out the day following the murder that most of the ops in the No Lack in Part 3 video are now No Limit jocks celebrated with social media posts honoring Kobe and mocking.
So did Von Kobe? Is that the you know what I'm saying? Is that the consensus on bro? See, one thing about it, I'm not from the east side. You feel me? So if you ask me a lot of about something that's a little more close to my crib, like, okay, like O Block is 10 minutes away. So I know about, you know what I'm saying? 600 is 10-15 minutes away from my crib. So I know a little something. STL, like all that little shit. Even like Dog Pound and shit. That shit ain't too far. But when you get to talk about over east and shit, like, I don't know, bro. But I know like the politics, like I know who into it with who, and I know what blocks they be on, but I don't know. I didn't never know niggas' names, and I never got into it because I was never from over east. Just like some beef out west. I don't know what the going on. I've been out west probably a handful of times in my life, and actually got out and stayed on the street. Like I probably went to a party out west, some parties out east on Fonam, and that's about it on Fonam. Like. But I never really knew all this shit. Like, I know Kobe and shit from the songs, but I ain't know, like, Von, Kobe, and, like, all that.
Von. Now, despite the mountain of examples suggesting No Limit were responsible for the of KTS Von, other theories have circulated painting a different picture. Some suspect that Von's may have actually been a rival from Sircon City, as only a few days after the killing of Von, a Sircon member by the name of Eric Turner was down, with one theory suggesting that the same man who killed Von might be the same person from Sircon City who would kill Von's father, Vincent Davis Sr., which took place around a year and a month after the killing of Von. While it hasn't definitively been proven who killed Von, it's clear that his passing was the best news No Limit could have hoped for. But it's believed that after the killing of Von, KTS and Lakeside were out for blood, with a particular focus on Mad Max. However, in this case, revenge would be out of reach.
So let me see. I don't know how accurate this is. I could tell you about No Limit. I could tell you about where they at. Essex, Phillips, Yates. Yeah, Yates is kind of like, but yeah, they'll be on. You'll find some No Limit niggas on Yates. 76, 78, 75th is kind of like where it starts. I think this 75th right here. Yeah. So, yeah, and you can see like the lake right here. That's how you know it's the east side because the lake is so close. And then Lakeside is what? So other side of Colfax is Lakeside. Okay then. So Lakeside a little bit more. What that is? Is that south?
Were out for blood, with a particular focus on Mad Max. However, in this case, revenge would be out of reach, because sometime after Von's death, His brother Dre would end up being taken off the streets as a
that
result
was
of a
his
gun
brother?
charge, leaving some of the No Limit members free to focus on the numerous beasts in the streets, now that two of their biggest rivals from Lakeside were no longer active.
They look alike.
With one particular member of No Limit choosing instead to take things further with music, and finally distance themselves from this dangerous street activity.
Yeah, I'm glad.
This video
I'm
contains
glad Herb did what you call it, cause all I know one thing, boy, the East Side is cracking on the guys, boy. That's why I ain't out West cracking too. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never going to the East Side, cause the East Side is where a lot of crazy ass niggas from over there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of crazy shit going on over there. And when you turn off Stony Island, shorty, on 79th Street, right where that White Castle at, you turn left right there. You come in, you going south, and you turn left, and you get on the East Side. It look like a whole nother, like, it look like Chicago still, but it look like some whole other shit. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like that shit ain't right for them. But I never knew like the whole politics behind out over East and